on the table, just brainstorming all the time. Just a matter of time until he found the win condition. Adrian Wiesen hanging in there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a scoop any day now, because how long do you want to drag it out against counterbalance top end Jace on the table? There is no way in the world, my friends, that you will draw out of this. He might as well just start fate sealing Adrian now. Of course he doesn't need to. Why wouldn't he just keep brainstorming forever and ever and ever until he just has everything, every counter he could ever need, and time to make that giant and treat the angels. Like I said, Adrian just so out of it. Every single card of his deck will just be easily neutralized by this combo. Jay setting it up so that the top cards will always be perfectly, like, I'm guessing 1, 2, and 5 or something. So you can really just counter every single spell in his deck. And there is no getting out of this. Adrian Wiesen needlessly dragging it out, in my opinion, should just concede the game. Not the match necessarily, though. Maybe he can still run it back. But he is definitely not winning this game. And you surely want to have the time to finish the game off. If it goes on to game 3, you can still win. On the other hand, maybe banking on the fact that Thomas Wilczek will need a lot of time to finish him off, so that then Adrian can come back in game 2, defeat him, and then be in a position in game 3 where Thomas Wilczek just will not have the time to finish the game off, even though he has it under control, giving Adrian Wiesen the free point from the draw. So in this kind of sense, it might make a little more sense for Adrian Wiesen to play it out. Sure, on Magic Online, I would advise everyone to do this. Just grind down the seconds on the opponent's clock. On Magic Online, never ever give up the match. Never. Unless you are really seriously behind on time yourself, which shouldn't happen. If you just decide you can't win this match, just keep pressing the F6 button. Make your opponent go through the motions, clicking all the right buttons. You never know, man. I've had people's internet connection give out as they were about to pay the mana for the lethal fireball. I already heard that tiny little click sound. Saw the mana pool getting emptier and emptier. This guy was about to win, but unfortunately in Puerto Rico, his connection just didn't hold up, man. And then half an hour later, he came back on. Was kind of like, oh, dude, you were so dead 1 second later, but it was too sad. He just couldn't get it done. Yeah, man, Thomas Wilczek really playing this quickly. You can just see his total mastery of this deck, making excellent choice after excellent choice, playing it so good, better than even I can realize. Really showing off how he just is in the archetype himself, personifying it, knowing everything inside and out. I'm sure he is familiar with the Rock Delver matchup, knows exactly what can go wrong. Yeah, Adrian seriously just hoping for some sort of maybe previously undiscovered medical condition on Thomas Wilczek's side. Which is hopefully never going to happen, man. Because this really would be the only chance that he can win this match still. Not that I haven't seen it, man. I've seen matches being won because of, like, it's epilepsy seizure from the opponent. Just like in GP Day 2 and stuff. It can happen, man. But still, you wouldn't be wishing that on anyone for sure. But yeah, like I'm saying, if this were Magic Online, this would make 100% pure sense. You just want to make him waste the time so that maybe he will time out in the end. It's everybody's own fault if they can't play any quicker. But here in real life, you're taking time away from your common clock. You're costing yourself the time and also your opponent. Adrian Wiesen just clearly banking on the fact that he would not be needing as much time. At least not actively slow playing, but still making Thomas go through the motions. Thomas now going about fate sealing him, just so that nothing can happen, that he will know what he can draw. Excellent, excellent choice. Should put counters on the Jace though, right? I think didn't really dial up the die from 3 to 5. I don't know. Adrian just showing that he has more Delver of Secrets cards. I wonder why doesn't he have black sleeves enough? I don't think that you could see the actual Delver. I don't know why he chooses to go with the split card. Maybe it's like retro style. Hipster action. Okay, Jace totally just like pumping up to ultimate to close this game out in like 2 minutes. Adrian not doing anything. Also down to 6 though, Snapcaster Mage having finished the game in 1 minute. Yeah man, like I said, it's pretty smart. It's a douche thing to do, but I don't think there is really any law against this. The judge, I don't think, could come by and would give you the like slow play warning just because you choose not to give up. But you kind of probably would almost have to concede at this point. Like, if, I don't know, man, I would assume malicious intent on Adrian Wiesen's side here. He's not trying to win this game still. He's just trying to make the round clock wind down so that if it goes to that game 3, he will have the chance to finish it in time, whereas Thomas Wilczek will only have the chance to end it in a draw. maybe, you know, trying to go for that little option select, so to speak. However, Thomas Wilczek moving his hands quickly, man, just getting it done, being not overwhelmed with his 7 cards, 10 land, Sensei's Divining Top, Jace, everything on the table. Other people just taking forever to think through all the options. Thomas Wilczek just knows that he has it. He is just kind of playing on autopilot, avoiding any obvious mistakes, but surely realizing that nothing can go wrong. Yeah. This unfortunately not working out. If counterbalance is going to prevent your lightning bolt, you're not going to stop with stifle either. Big problem. Thomas Wilczek having 2 Sensei's Divining Top, otherwise maybe it even would be possible if Thomas tried to tap the top because there just wasn't a 1-drop on top and he could have stifled the top activation, then maybe the lightning bolts would have resolved lethally into Thomas Wilczek's face. Unfortunately, the 2 tops even taking that opportunity out, at least you gotta give it to Adrian. He almost came close to kind of having a chance maybe, but actually no, man. He was just winding down the time. I disagree with Quant TV on that, by the way. It's not Thomas' fault. It's not his fault that Miracles takes 30 minutes to win the game. But still, the rules are very clear about this. No matter how nice or fair this might be, the debate is up for debate. But in the rules, it clearly states that you are supposed to play at a pace so that it's possible to finish the whole match in the allotted time for the round. In this case, this means the match time is 50 minutes. And if your opponent needs a lot of time to play this match, then it's on every player to play quicker, not only on him. You cannot say that, well, it's his own fault. On Magic Online, yeah, totally, man. Go for it. Everybody has their own round time, which I think should be a thing in real life, but it's not, right? In real life, unfortunately, any like kind of chess clock setup or whatever you could think of would be pretty impractical. That's why we haven't seen this yet. On Magic Online, easily implemented. In real life, no way. Almost. I mean, it could kind of be done, but it would be really awkward and stuff. So unfortunately, in real life, judges have to come out, hand out that slow play warning in case people are taking too much time. And like I said, man, going against the spirit of the rules in this case, Adrian Wiesen, of course, playing it swiftly. Nobody could really make him give up, but I'm telling you, the only reason why he didn't concede was to wind down that clock. So yeah, definitely sort of unsporting. Is on the fence whether this should be could play or no. Like I'm saying, the rules are backing him up, though therefore I'm hesitant to judge this on a like morality basis, because just like as long as it's not outlawed, how wrong can it really be, right? So there is this. Adrian Wiesen is allowed to do this totally within his right. Like I'm saying, played it down swiftly, didn't try to additionally stall even more. Absolutely fine with the rules of the game, more or less. So there is that. Anyway, still plenty of time on the round. Thomas Wilczek not leading long at all to close this round. Takes his time in the first couple of turns in the game where it's crucial that he survives. But then in the end, where the options overwhelm most of the players, Thomas Wilczek knew exactly what to do. He had everything set up. Nothing could happen to him ever again. In case there was a dangerous situation, he could still start thinking about it. But until then, he just needed to autopilot, close out the game, play as quickly as possible, get in there with the Snapcaster, boost up Jace to maybe go for that ultimate. Didn't take a long time at all. Adrian Wiesen totally will, even in Game 3, still be able to die to Thomas Wilczek if he keeps playing at this pace. Nothing gained so far, nothing lost for Thomas, so it's all good. For Game 2 now, though, we take a look at the sideboards, and we will see that Adrian barely can bring anything in. We see, like, Ancient Grudge, which is not going to come in. Blue Elemental Blast, man. Life from the Loam, I don't know about that. Maybe he will try to go for that, going for some sort of, like, Wasteland lock. And before Thomas has the counterbalance and top action to do it for 2. I don't know, man. Grim Lavamancer possibly, but like, why? This sideboard just so hopeless for Adrian Wiesen, does nothing. Huh? Nee. This dude really having the most ineffective sideboard against Miracles. I wonder why. I thought that like 30 to 35% of the metagame are going to be either Miracles or Elves or ANT. So why isn't there any counter? He has Surgical Extraction, 2 of them in his sideboard. That is like what he can bring in. But that's pretty much it. On the other hand, Thomas for sure will bring in the 1 Rest in Peace. And like 2 Pyroblasts, I believe. Engineered Explosives will come in. 3 Flusterstorms. Natural fit. to just totally win any counter war right away. Yeah, yeah. Apparently also going to bring in Vendilion Click. I don't know if that is really worth it. Okay, so Adrian Wiesen again getting nothing done. 3 lands and nothing else on the table, bowling so well for Thomas Wilczek. Adrian definitely needing to be getting in there right now. Don't give Thomas all this time. Don't let him have all these lands even. We see Thomas not cracking any fetch lands. No doubt looking to not thin out his deck, try to draw more cards. Also probably worried about the Stifle. No way he will crack these fetch lands until Adrian is tapped out. Or until he desperately needs the mana right here, right now. Adrian, though, not making him have anything, need to have anything, just chilling out, playing his 3rd land can almost be considered mana flood for this type of deck. No wasteland inside. Land number 4. Oh no, there is wasteland now. Tarmogoyf coming down. Keeping those fetch lands also nicely playing around wasteland. Finding the 4th land here. Not too worried about this 2-3 Tarmogoyf, most overcosted Grizzly Bear. That extra point of toughness, not doing it at all against Thomas Wilczek right now, man. He really needs to get something going in the graveyard, fill it up with some fat other card types. Try casting that Gitaxian Probe now, maybe. I don't know if he has it. But like, yeah, man, Adrian... I don't think Adrian has a role in this matchup. He's just hanging out to be destroyed by Thomas Wilczek. Seems like nothing can phase him at all. So dominant. This board space again. Not worried. The kind of 2 wastelands have him a little feeding down. Sensei's Divining Top though gonna get him all the land in the world. He is still able with that plains to fetch for some more basic lands even. No doubt that Stifle at this point wouldn't even be used on a land. Rather being able to trying to stifle that Miracle Trigger. As we've seen though, Thomas just has so many ways to just get it back onto the top of the deck, getting that Miracle Trigger again, or just hanging out for a couple more turns until he can just find the land to hardcast that Terminus. You will see Terminus for 6 sometimes, effortlessly coming out of the Miracles deck. Of course, you will see it even more effortlessly coming out of the Miracles deck for 1 mana at a certain point in the game. Hardcasting Force of Will, though, also, all of this becoming very possible. Force of Will, classic card that makes Legacy as fast as it is, not only because it can counter for 0, but also because it will force so much hand disadvantage that you just can't... You have to close out the game with that Clutch Force, because if you just have to force away your hand while the other guy is sitting at so much land that you can just allow to tap 5 for the Force of Will, there is no way you can keep up with this kind of resource battle, man. But yeah, man, Thomas Wilczek, this... I don't know. Maybe Adrian can get something going. At least he has Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf didn't die yet, is hitting Thomas in the face repeatedly, not for a lot of damage, but it's still on there, getting in there. We never know, like, what from his point, he could be thinking, like, oh, come on, dude, we'll go all the way. Tarmogoyf, we know it's never gonna happen. No way Thomas will not find an answer at some point. Again, the reach of Adrian with those bolts, not great at all. As long as you can be like on 4 life, you will be pretty safe. Also be seeing 1 fork bolt, but like no way that didn't get taken out for some more hate. On the other hand, Adrian, like I said, almost not having any sideboard. Kane 49 coming in with a comedy. Oh no, there is actual bolt in his face? Pretty sad. I don't even know. Maybe, like I said, he just doesn't even have too many cards to take out, to bring in. He just has to keep playing with that bolt. If he brings like 2 Surgical Extraction, 1 Life from the Loam, he still would have to leave in 2 bolts minimum. Maybe he should have gone with Lavamancer instead. I just don't know about bolt. Maybe he was worrying about Thomas bringing in like Monastery Mentor, but he has it nowhere. He doesn't have it in the main, doesn't have it in the sideboard. Maybe he anticipated the Vendilion Clicks coming in, wanted to bolt one of those, but like I'm saying, man, how is that going to help you at all? Why wouldn't Wasteland be still in? Yeah, but what are you going to put in instead? You need Wasteland to like cast your spell, maybe. Oh yeah, Bolt kills the Snapcaster. Like he lost to that in game 1, dude. He lost to the counterbalance top Jace. The Snapcaster was window dressing, man. The Jace would have ultimated him out. You saw him brainstorming out of pure luxury. He could have just been felt sealing way earlier. Ultimating the crap out of Adrian Wiesen would have been an issue in game 1 either. The Bolt would have made no difference at all. Bolt would have even been counterspelled just by the engine and everything. Wasteland only casts Tomogolf? Ah, yeah, okay. So I guess you could take out the Wasteland. Because really, Miracle's playing 6 basics does mean you can't get them hard, get them down hard. No, Trash, do not be very good with the irony. Please use sarcasm sign to communicate it, particularly online. I'm kind of like Sheldon Cooper that way. Whenever I sit in front of a chat, at least in real life, you can kind of pick up on like body language clues, right? Online though, whatever. Yeah, Snapcaster did all the damage. Total troll face move. Pasting this in the chat. Of course, we like the spirit. Right now though, Thomas Wilczek again. 7 life, not a care in the world. Does he have any removal available for this Tarmogoyf, or is it going to start killing him now? Like I said, you kind of do want to make this halt at 7, if you can, so that you don't even die to double bolt. Vendilion Clique coming in, getting Force of Will. Even though he has 6 land, still chooses to remove this blue card. I don't know, he could have just hardcast it. How, like, okay, it makes me wonder. Yeah, I actually never just would have even thought of boarding out the Wasteland. So I gotta hand it to whoever brought it up, man. Boarding out the Wasteland is definitely like a possible choice. I wouldn't take out all of them either. Unfortunately, it kind of doesn't seem possible to get rid of all of the glare, although maybe... Hard to say. What's this now? Yeah, right, man. Wasteland, Hardcast, Force of Will. For now, though, we're seeing this red action. Ancient Grudge on the Sensei's Divining top. Okay. Interesting, but yeah, man, he has to try to do it. This, unfortunately, will only... He can just tap the top to put it on top, so why... But okay, maybe he's gonna stifle it. Huh? I don't know. It is Ancient Grudge. Ancient Grudge indeed coming in. Trying to get this done. On the top. Now will there be a stifle? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. Okay, awesome Ancient Grudge. Ah, Fetchland was on the stack. Top will be forced to be shuffled in. So there is that. I'm guessing, in a sense, Adrian Wiesen made it happen with the Ancient Grudge. I saw it in the sideboard. Wasn't too sure if he should be bringing it in. Seeing as to how you barely can destroy the top ever. But he made it happen. So yeah, Adrian Wiesen almost looking kind of good. Look at that. Even manages to use Wasteland to cut him off from red. Red, of course, only for the singular red Elemental Blast in his sideboard. And for like... Oh no, there's also Pyroblast. Never mind. And for like Wear Tear. One off. Oh, 2 Self-Elementals. So okay, never mind then. Apparently 3 Volcanic Island in the main deck. Plenty for all kinds of red sideboard cards. But really needed? Not at all. Not in this matchup. There is the second Volcanic. Of course it will get wasted again. He taps it right away because he knows that if he left it up, it would just eat the Wasteland and he would have one less one. No, he decides to change it. I wonder why. Maybe to like more bluff? I don't even know. Flash blacking the Brainstorm with it anyway though. Having just so many cards. Finding another top. Okay, now it becomes interesting. Thomas Wilczek at 1. If Adrian Wiesen can all of a sudden find this bolt, Thomas Wilczek might be in big trouble. He needs to already jump block. Has Terminus on the top though. So surely, end of turn, just decides to look into the top. Set up the Terminus. And there we go. Adrian Wiesen, what are you going to have? Lightning Bolt seeming mighty good right now. Gotta hand it to Adrian Wiesen and his strategy. If he's not gonna win with Bolt to the face, how else is he gonna win? Force of Will being hardcast for a change. Terminus not resolving. Or Terminus resolving after all. Because of Flusterstorm, there we see it. Key clutching out this counter for 1 mana. No chance for Adrian Wiesen to do anything about it. Maybe he should have Force of Willed hard ACC this turn. The other time, I don't even know. He probably was worried about the Flusterstorm already. Nimble Mongoose, wasteland going on. Trying to keep Thomas Wilczek in as tough of a predicament as possible. Still, end of turn, trying to draw with the top, eating Ancient Grudge, which is fine. At least then he just gets the free card. Top is not forced to redraw the top, gets to see 2 cards. Still, actually, almost on the verge of maybe losing this game. Adrian Wiesen kind of, I don't know how it happens, but Thomas just seemingly not finding what he needs. In game 1 had all the answers in the world. Right now, though, seems to be severely lacking. This Nimble Mongoose, Salts the Plowshare is not going to do it. Let's see. He's going to Terminus it away. Stifle, but I'm sure there's going to be Counterspell. Which is the question though, should he even Counterspell it? Or should he try to Explosives it away, keep the Counterspell to fight the Bolt? This is what's going through Thomas Wilczek's head right now. He's just worried that if he Counterspells this, he leaves himself open to some sort of top deck, but look at that, he can't do it either any other way anyway. Wondering, yeah, indeed, Thomas, getting a little ahead of himself. I don't know, maybe trying to subconsciously, not even giving Adrian the chance to resolve this, kind of makes, just sort of skipping over the Stifle priority. Like, I don't know what to think about this on terms of etiquette, because yeah, on the one hand, like, if you just hold it on the stack and you are like, okay, is the Miracle Trigger allowed to resolve? You might be cluing your opponent into stuff he doesn't know. Of course, we know Adrian knows this, because he's a good player, demonstrating this knowledge in game 1. But still, not exactly, like, not a big BM rating, but still a little bit, man. Trying to just kind of advance to a game state where the Stifle would have already happened before giving the opponent a chance to give it. Of course, he can just say, yo, bro, wait a minute. This, not so fast. We're going to rewind this. No way you can put this into Graveyard. No way you can pay for the Miracle Trigger yet. Adrian Wiesen finding another dude, probably not being really happy about this. Would have, I guess, way rather just drawn another Lightning Bolt. Maybe did side somehow out and is kicking himself now. As you are wont to do when you're in a situation like this. This is really awkward right now. Engineered Explosives for 2. Probably should be popping it in Adrian right away, actually. Or like go and then in Adrian's upkeep. I don't know, man. I don't know if he would do it now. Like, now is the time to do it, in his upkeep, and he waits until it is his upkeep, realizing that, I don't know, Adrian didn't get the chance to, like, play any Brainstorm or anything end of turn. Where he could have responded to otherwise to deny him the Stifle, but had to do it in his upkeep so that he doesn't draw it in his draw step. Excellent timing from Thomas Wilczek, having all the Entreat the Angels in his hand, still managing to make it happen, brainstorming them away. Now, unfortunately, is unable to use Fetchland to shuffle it away, still sitting precariously on that 1 life, man. Has no way. If Adrian finds the Bolt now, that could be it. Dalver, not the biggest problem right now. Still, though, possibly able to flip. Yeah, we don't know. Thomas Wilczek, he is really as inconvenienced as he could possibly be by this matchup. Adrian Wilson, despite barely having a strategy going into this matchup, seems to just get it done by playing his stuff the way he would play against everyone else and just have it happen to be enough against Thomas Wilczek. Maybe in this game, he top deck Entreat the Angels. Of course, I think he will go for like one Angel here, just so that he can eat the Delver. Has a pretty cool token to go with it. I like it. Keeping up as much mana as possible. Probably is looking to Brainstorm here main phase. I don't know about this. He could have used Brainstorm main phase to find a land and a counterspell. Right now, I don't know why he would give that up. Does he have counterspell in his hand already? Thomas Wilczek not. No, Adrian Wiesen not really seeing anything good in his ponder. I wonder why he elects to keep it. Must not have another bolt in his deck, because this would have been the prime chance to just try to go for this bolt. You really can't be thinking that you need to wait until a later time where you can also have it with counter backup or something, because Thomas Wilczek will just be able to draw into more and more answers. The longer you wait, you would have to go for it now. I don't know why he would want to get it done with a second Delver. Maybe trying to swarm around Thomas Wilczek's flyer in the air. It has it set up to flip next turn, I'm sure of it. So like Thomas Wilczek though, now just needing, I don't know, another Entreat the Angels for one? Yeah, and there it is, man. Decides not to Brainstorm end of turn. That is interesting. Like I'm saying, man, he could be digging for that counterspell right now, if only he chose to do so. Decides against it, probably having some sort of good reason for that I just don't get, because I'm not as masterful with this deck as Thomas Wilczek himself. This guy really is showing us how it's done. Making another Angel for one, I like it. Just being as careful as possible. Attacking with the Snapcaster though, this is so nice. I love this Patrick Dickman style. Just sometimes, you know, you gotta be, people tend to just be in the mindset that they're just defending themselves. They just forget to attack. But hey, look, dude, look at your board every turn. And if you see that there is a creature that you don't have to defend with anyway, because there isn't going to be any charge, dude, and there isn't going to be a no flip from Adrian Wiesen, and there is no way that he can draw anything that you would need the Snapcaster to defend against, might as well get in there with that, reduce Adrian Wiesen down to 15, so that you could just get one step closer to maybe even kill him before he can find that bolt. Thomas Wilczek trying to be as aggressive as possible right now. And that Swords to Plowshares is going to fucking seal it. Thomas Wilczek now gaining the ability to just Swords to Plowshares his own Angel at some point. To go back to 5. Now finally Lightning Bolt not a problem anymore. Down to 9 life already? Oh crap. Okay, sorry, we kind of missed out on this life total action. Adrian Wiesen, in fact, really close to death. Swords to Plowshares landing on that Delver, and now in comes the cavalry. Adrian Wiesen, unfortunately, was at 12 life, wouldn't have died. Now we'll be going down to 6, I suppose. Coverage team kind of leaving me alone on this. Is on 3, actually. Hoping that Wilczek doesn't play bold now. Getting to flip the Delver, block it with the 4-4, and that's gotta be it. I don't know, Adrian Wiesen, what do you have now? Go. Yeah, Thomas Wilczek, does he dare to attack? He just kind of, so nice. Just draws, looks if it's Miracle, plays the land, attack with everyone, not even any hesitation, nothing. Just knows that Adrian Wiesen is making him go through the motions, doesn't hesitate, takes like 2 seconds to close out this match. Really dominant performance, showing us why Miracles is the way to go in over a Rock Delver, man. Or Canadian Thresh, whatever. Really nice. Unfortunately, even though Thomas really gave it his best shot, no chance to switch to the other matchup. But we got the metagame breakdown right here, guy. Oh, this is pretty interesting. Who knew, man? So, most played deck, by far, we got 23 Miracles decks. But then we got like 13 Rock Delver, 20 Shardless Bug, 10 kind of control, Life from the Loam builds, 10 ANTs, 9 aggressive Loam strategies, 9 Reanimator, 8 Burn, 7 Grixis Delver, only 7 Elves combo, a deck that people would have expected way more of, 6 Sneak and Show, 6 Merfolk, 5 The Epic Storm, 5 Death and Taxes, 4 Dredge, 3 like Bug Delver, I guess it is, 3 Pennerstone, 3 Affinity decks, 3 Blue-Red Delver straight, 3 Goblins, 3 Food Chain Mist Hologriffin interaction, and then a whole smattering of decks that are there 2 or less, 12 Post, Cyphernaut, Blood Moon Stompy, Blood Moon Ice, Jeskai Blade, Enchantress, Grixis Control Maverick, wow, I played Maverick years ago, Nick Fit, Black, Blue, Red, Green, Delva, D. Burg, Esper, Stoneblade, Slivers, Infect, and Junt, all represented in this tournament, and a Partridge in a Pear Tree, yes sir. Very nice pull, I love that line. Saw it in the football coverage once. It was like 5 yards, 3 intercepts, 2 failed punts, and a Partridge in a Pear Tree. Like ESPN official line. I almost died laughing, I'm telling you guys. So, over voltage, excellent pun. Or like joke. Anyway, so much for the Miracle Break, for the metagame breakdown. This is what we're seeing. I hope we can avoid looking at too many miracles right now. I think we have seen a pretty dominant performance from Thomas Wilczek. Few people really miracles against Rock Delver. The characteristic tournament of this match. Thomas Wilczek mastering Miracle deck, showing us how it's done. D. Burg just being like black, blue, red, green deck. And there the JK coverage cluing you in as to the name of this kind of deck. Indeed. Later some guys tried to switch out black for white, but then it would have been like Vurg and nobody wanted that. It sounds terrible. Like people throwing, like cats throwing up. So they got rid of it. Burg it is. And yeah, man, I hope we're going to see sweet, sweet matches today. Not at all many miracles. I'm hoping to get our coverage team to avoid this stuff. Miracles, of course, probably is going to drift to the top of the standings. Will be the backup in many situations, so that we can go to that for like some game 3 if we want to. But for right now, man, I'm telling you, I want to see some of these one-off decks. There seem to be some pretty interesting builds there. I wonder how like Enchantress would do these days, you know, or like Infect. It's just... pretty nice. Anyway, we have time in the round still, do we know this? Okay, we'll check out the time real quick, so give you an estimate when we're going to be back. Like I said, the other match, unfortunately, already done. Miracle is taking too much time anyway, no matter how fast Thomas Wilczek moved, though. It was really good. Drei Minuten? Okay, so there is 3 minutes left until timeout. We will be going on a break. We will be back for you for more matches, of course, from the next round. Don't miss out on it. Competition will only be getting better and better. The more we can just take the cream off the crop, off the top of the standings, try to find out what's going on there. Maybe you see the hot, like Cinderella story, one of those one-off dudes trying to battle his way all the way to the top, defeating Miracle after Miracle, man. It will be a pretty cool story. Hopefully it happens. Not be like Miracle matchup semi-final, us sitting here until 1 a.m., man. I got a like 2.5 hour car ride back to my home